I think you're crazy, no, and you're driving me crazy. Oh yeah, living in a world full of crazy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Mental House with me, your illustrious host, Khadija. First of all, I want to give a shout out to a 5150 Nation this morning, because I'm not afraid either. We can't be afraid if you want to speak the truth. So I want to give a shout out to Corey Holcomb in the 5150 Club this morning. Me and I'm representing for the baby boomers. That's my guy. Right across the minute from the Robert Taylor home where all my cousins grew up. I just want to give a shout out to Corey. I've probably seen him a lot back in the day, just didn't know him. Anyways, let me start right here. Let me start here. You know, I see a lot of y'all take offense to the term mental illness, and I see a lot of y'all get mad because people are using, and you saying it's overkill of the word mental illness. And so let me just make it clear from what I say and what I mean in terms of my speaking on mental illness, and in terms of what you perceive or what society is doing in terms of manipulating or gaslighting, again, in terms of a structure framework of mental illness. So what I'm saying is this. I grew up in a town with Jeffrey Dahmer. Let's start it right there. And I did a show on that back in the day. I've been on YouTube for a while now. But I did a show about Jeffrey Dahmer, and I was telling you how what's his name? John Doyle with an attorney. One was McCann and one was Doyle. Those were the two prominent attorneys that handled the case. And the biggest stigma back then was, is Jeffrey Dahmer mental? Is he crazy? Or did he know what he was doing? Hit the button. Yeah. All right. So, if y'all can recall that time and period when Jeffrey Dahmer ran amok and ate all these people here in the city of Milwaukee, which I told y'all before, I still don't think we've recovered from that stuff yet. We haven't recovered from the racism, the racist way, the sick way in which that whole case was handled. We haven't recovered from that, not even as a city. As a city, we've gotten further and further apart because there were people that were actually taking that tragedy and making money off of it, doing tours. I think they're still doing them, and just a bunch of sick stuff that only a sick nation would do. Now, people got mad because the debate was Jeffrey Dahmer crazy, mentally ill, or was he sane? Now, I want to show you just how insane America is. Let's just bear with me for a minute. Bear with me. Because here you got the master deceivers, the master liars, the master killers, the master rapists, the master thieves, sitting in a position like a Khalifa, to gerryman, to watch over the nation. And the nation is corrupt. All right? So, the people that's sitting in the seat of judgment are maniacs. Now, one of your maniacs that you didn't profile when they was in the army and you didn't know what you was deciding to use him for, set him in the heart of the ghetto in Milwaukee. And this man ran up and down Wisconsin Avenue picking up people and eating them. And because we're so desperate and in a situation that's so just diabolical, ones that white people couldn't even deal with for one day. Most white people couldn't deal with our condition and the way we navigate through this system for one day. it was difficult. It was difficult for people to make a decision on whether Jeffrey Dahmer was crazy or if he knew what he was doing. Now, let's get this straight. And so because I ain't gonna be on here long with this craziness. First of all, just because somebody is mentally ill, that's not an excuse. It has nothing to do with them being punished for their deeds, in my opinion, and it has nothing to do with retribution. Because first of all, we are already navigating in one of the most mentally ill nations that it is. And in my humble opinion, mental illness is racism. Anytime you build a country, a structure, on something that's so sick as the color of somebody's skin, and because I'm closer to the equator, I'm more blacker, and y'all asses done branched out so far that you got up in them. Look, you got up in them caves, and you started mating up in there, and you became what you considered a person with a smaller nostril and a lighter skin, and you wasn't having no sunlight. However, you are still part of the human family. You ain't a bird. You ain't a dog. So you do have 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, nose, and a mouth. 2 ears, but you hear one singular sound. That means you are part of the human family. And you might just be a little colder than those of us that are further down to the equator, that were born, that was positioned further down to the equator. This is just all my opinion, okay? My rant this morning. It just bothers me that when people see somebody saying somebody's mental illness, as if when somebody says somebody is mental illness, they all act as if it negates their responsibility for the act that they did. And that's not what I'm saying here at all. I don't think anybody is saying that. And if you think that Jeffrey Dahmer wasn't mentally ill, because who in their right mind would go scavenger in the streets to bring people home to pour acid in their brain? A fucking crazy person would do that. No sane, rational human being would do that. I know I can get pretty crazy, and I wouldn't do nothing like that. Would you do something like that? Okay, well, you ain't that kind of crazy. You ain't that kind of mental ill. Okay? But mental illness is a disease. Mental illness is racism entwined. Now, when you add that with prejudices, then you act on them, your prejudices and your mental illness. You can be crazy and mentally ill and not be prejudiced. Okay? They don't go one and the same. But I do say the system of racism is a mentally ill system for anybody who buys into that. They're crazy because you have history. They have history that predates everything that we're standing in right now. And the only reason you don't know that is because you choose not to figure it out. You choose not to see your forefathers as crazy. You choose not to see the way they set up America as crazy, as mentally ill. To set up a country for white people and think it's going to exist this long and then ask other people to come into it. And then get mad that they hear and then start trying to shoot them away and doing all. That's crazy. That's mentally ill. So for those of y'all who saying I'm using this mental illness as an excuse for people, no, I'm not. Mental illness has nothing to do with retribution, and it has nothing to do with being held responsible and accountable. Okay? Most people are just trying to get the society at large to look at how our origins of madness began. Because if you look a little deeper, all y'all got origins of madness. And if it ain't outwardly like that, let's check your families. Let's check your household. Let's see the craziness that's running around in there. All your idiosyncrasies, all of your damn tendencies that you have at your house and with your family members. Okay? Because I don't know anybody that has come up under this kind of indoctrination, and not be toxic because of it. And if you can't even admit that, then damn, we got some work to do. Woo, Lord, we got some work to do. But all I'm trying to say here is, I'm gonna keep this short and brief. Because a person says that a person is mentally ill, in my opinion, that does not mean that people are looking for an excuse for this person to be exonerated. No, stick the pedal to them just as hard. Yes, yes. You don't get no free pass, and you just shot up a whole country and shot up a whole church. You don't get no free pass because you crazy. We all crazy up in this bitch. I'm sorry. Now, with that being said, if you like what you hear, please like, subscribe, and share. And you can't be afraid. Speak what you feel is the truth. I'll see y'all next time, right here in the mental house.